Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Bree, and welcome to another cozy weekend reading vlog. So it's currently Friday. I had big plans to start this at the beginning of today because I have the day off of work, but I actually got really sick last night. So it is now 1:15 and I've just started feeling better. So I thought I would start the vlog. I've got my little Pippi Pie right here, if you can see him. I don't know if you can. And then I've got Cow Cow Baby over there, and we're just gonna snuggle up and read some books. And just that's the goal for today, is to just read a bunch. And then tomorrow I have some holiday events that I'm going to with my family. So we're gonna go to this Christmas show market. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's in their hometown, so we're gonna go to that. And so I have some exciting things that we'll get to this weekend, along with just kind of some tidying. I just need generally to clean. So my goals are to do some Christmas things, to read, and to clean a bit. Did I say that? To go to the Christmas things, clean, and read. Now, let me get into the books I've been reading. So to start, I am like 40 pages into A Winter's Promise. I picked this up earlier in the week, and I haven't just really been in the reading mood, but I thought this would be a really nice like winter fantasy, and it's has to do with like kind of a portal element almost, because this woman can travel through mirrors, and then there's different like planets, kingdoms, I guess, that are like in the sky floating like this. And it's basically that she's being married off, but she has these special powers that she can also touch things and get like memories from them. And somehow she gets to be like a pawn in these politics on this new place she's going to when she is sent there to marry this man. And I don't really know much more about that, but it's been on my TBR for a while, and I just feel like it's going to be a really good winter book because it's supposed to be going to like a wintry type setting. And I've just heard good reviews about this, so I am trying out another fantasy to try to get to figure out more of my fantasy journey. And then I've been listening to Legends Alantes on the week while I've been going to work, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm 50% of the way through, and I really want to finish this weekend. And that actually got me thinking about like sorry, this is annoying me. That got me thinking of what fantasies I really enjoy. And I think that this I might like, but I really think that cozy fantasy and cozy books in general are my vibe. I think I really like mystery and some horror books that I found that I like elements of, but then I like to balance it with like soft books. And I think cozy fantasy, cozy sci-fi, and like cozy like literary fiction really could be for me, with like magical realism and all that. I've been enjoying any cozy book with like a magical element to it or sci-fi element to it. I've been loving. So I think that I may have found my fantasy sci-fi genre, subgenre, I guess. I don't feel like I really need to tell you what this is about because I feel like everyone's been reading it, but it's an orc, Viv, and a succubus. Yeah, and a succubus named Tandri, and they like run this coffee shop. There's also Thimble, who's a little like, it's called Ratkin, but it's kind of like a mouse, and he's the baker. And then there's another guy, Cal, and I think he's just a human, and he helps them like build it. And it's just about starting to build this coffee shop and, you know, find another reason to live outside of Viv used to be like a fighter and would always be like a bounty hunter and like stuff like that. And so she's like putting up her blade and doing this, which is bringing her a lot of fulfillment. There's a bit of a romance, and it's just really good. I think the hype for this is just really well warranted, and I'm having such a good time. So I really feel like this is the first one I'm gonna finish, and I am going to snuggle up with these two. Can you see them? My Pippi right here. He likes to snuggle up right next to me. And then I got Cow Cow Baby. Still always in the way. Oh yeah, hello. So they're relaxing with me.
You feel like summer days to me, warm, tender, sunny rays. I hope that we are meant to be. You say nothing at all when we meet. Yet somehow I know your history. Oh, come what may, I'm ready. Picture frames, lavender paint, they all live here. Within this romance I get the chance to stop the run and be the lucky one. Odd thoughts and some dusty dreams, and we seem to find common ground. Guess everyone's got their own sound.
Hello. So apologies for this lighting. It's getting darker out and I turned on a light, and so I'm trying to make it cozy in here. But I have about just under 100 pages left of Legends and Lattes, and still I'm loving this so much, and I just feel like as the book goes on, I love it more and more. And sorry, I'm out of breath for some reason. And I've been thinking about this book and cozy fantasy in general, because even before I read this, I kind of feel like I've been thinking about cozy fantasy and sci-fi and just like cozy stories in general, and how I really think that they work for me as being some of my favorite books. And I think it's because I look for escapism in books, and these just give me something soft and just cozy and good vibes from them. And not that there's no conflict, but the low stakes of it, it really helps me when I'm feeling down or going through something, to just have something that's just so wholesome. I just really gravitate towards wholesome books. So I was thinking about this, and I know that this has become really popular and people have been kind of looking for recommendations. And I might do a whole video at one point, but I kind of grabbed some books off my shelves because I was like wanting more cozy in my life, and I was like feeling like I haven't really read a lot. And then when I started pulling books, I've actually realized that I have a lot of cozy books, and or a good amount, and I think a lot of these you might have heard of, but in case you haven't and you're just looking for some recommendations, I thought I'd kind of go through some. So let's start with ones you probably know. So my biggest recommendation, and kind of what relaunched this for me, was when I read House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, which is about a guy who is a magical like caseworker, and he has to go to this orphanage with like the most dangerous children, and he just learns a lot about himself, about life, and it's a big found family, and it's about like accepting who you are and others. And I think that that's a running theme in a lot of these books, is just accepting people and accepting our differences, and I think that this did it so well. It's got such a whimsical like feeling to it. That's why it's one of my favorite. I just love the whimsy and the fantasy of this. And I think this one is the closest in terms of like the full fantasy that I have to Legends and Lattes. And then this is a book I read really nostalgic reasons, because I used to love the movie, and I don't think it's like the perfect book by any means, but it's just something that is so nostalgic for me, and I really do feel like it fits with the cozy vibes. So that's Stardust by Neil Gaiman. This is about a guy who is in love with this girl, and basically she's kind of mean to him, and she says like, if you go catch that fallen star that they see, then I will marry you. And so he goes off on this venture to get this star for her. And there's like a flying pirate ship, there's some like ghosts that are these like princes who are fighting for the throne, and there's just like so much packed into this, but it's so like whimsical. It's just a very whimsical adventure story about Tristan trying to get this fallen star for this woman that he thinks he loves, and just the growth and stuff along the way I think is good. And I think that the movie's actually even better than the book, but reading the book, it is very reminiscent of the movie, and I would cast this as a cozy book as well. And then another nostalgic one that I reread a lot actually is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones, and this is about Sophie, and she somehow like upsets this witch, and she gets turned into an old woman, and then she is kind of lost and on her way, and she finds Howl in his moving castle, and he kind of takes her aboard, and there's just a lot of found family in here. There's a talking stove that's a demon, and there is a boy who like makes potions, and it's just about Sophie like again learning who she is and um, just like being more comfortable in who she is. And I thought it's a really sweet story, and I reread it all the time and it still holds up for me. And the movie is really cute as well. So there's that. Let's see. A recent read. This is, I would say, more romance than like a cozy fantasy, but it does have a lot of those cozy fantasy elements. And it's The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. And I do think that this does a really good job of like having very similar House in the Cerulean Sea vibes, but different. And this is dealing with witches. And I did like our main character. She is like basically goes to teach them at this home, at this like home that a bunch of other people are there taking care of these children. It just wasn't as whimsical as House on the Cerulean Sea and was much more like romance focused. But I did still think this was a cozy book with lower stakes than a lot of fantasies, and I enjoyed it. Then this one is like could be a bit darker, but I do think it has those cozy elements, and that's Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. And I don't have other T. Kingfisher books owned, but I hope to, because I've read Sword Heart as well by T. Kingfisher. That one is way more cozy, but all of her books have this like cozy vibe. So this one's about a woman who's trying to save her sister because she's married to this evil prince and she wants to kill him. And so she goes, and it's like a fairy tale story of like her finding this witch and going through this like kind of trial to get to her sister and save her sister. And it's got like a bone dog, and she has a lot with like familiars in here, and I really like that. But Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher is like a romance of this girl who is going to be married to her cousin and doesn't want to, so she tries to kill herself, and when she does, she pulls this sword, and a guy pops out of it, and they go on this adventure to like basically save her from having to marry her cousin. And there's also found family in that, and I thought that was really fun. And there's just so many more that T. Kingfisher has that I think all fulfill that like cozy trope. And then the only sci-fi I have, which I want to branch out more into cozy sci-fi, but is A Song for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. And this is just like a sweet little story about this monk who is kind of dissatisfied with life, and they go into the forest to have this adventure, and there they meet a robot, and it's very philosophical. They just talk about like what it means to be human, what it means to be a robot, and how those things intersect. And there's some like world building of like why there's no robots on this planet anymore. And the world building's really light but also very vivid at the same time. The monk is a tea monk, and I really enjoyed like learning about how they use tea to like help people in the community and stuff. And it's just like a very philosophical book about what it means to be human and what it means to be a robot and things like that. So this is like a really good example of cozy sci-fi. And I'm not a sci-fi reader, but I think cozy sci-fi definitely could be for me. Then I have Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And this is a recent read for me, but it's definitely more literary, but it falls in like the magical realism. That's why I'm kind of putting it in the cozy fantasy, because I think it's like very light fantasy, but still very cozy. And it's about like you go to this cafe and you can travel back in time, but there's rules and you have to like follow them. And one of them is like you have to come back before the coffee gets cold. And it's short stories, so there's 4 different short stories in here, and it's a series of 3 each with 4 stories in them. And it's just about the people who travel back in time, and they're all interconnected, and I think that they are heartfelt. Some have said the writing is a little dry. It's translated from Japanese, but I actually really didn't think that. I really connected with this a lot, and I just thought it was a perfect cozy book. And then the last one I haven't read, but is on my TBR, and I recently learned is a cozy fantasy. So that's Strange Practice by Vivian Shaw, and it's about Greta Helsing, who is like a medical practitioner, but she is like works for the undead, I guess. Like she's the doctor to the undead, and it's a supernatural adjacent life. It's a quiet supernatural adjacent life until a sect of murderous monks emerges, killing human and undead Londoners alike. As terror takes hold of the city, Greta must use her unusual skills to stop a cult if she hopes to save her practice in her life. This seems maybe a little more high stakes than the rest of them, but it was in Barnes & Noble. I had actually already picked this up, and I went to Barnes & Noble, and I saw this on like their end cap with Cozy Fantasy, so I found that interesting that I already felt like this was going to be a book that I would love, and it's considered a cozy fantasy. So that's just like a TBR one to give you. So here's just some books. If you're also finding that you like cozy fantasy sci-fi, that you might try to check out if you haven't already. I know that a lot of these are pretty popular, so I don't know if I'm really adding anything new, but I just thought I'd give you some suggestions. So yeah, Noah and I are gonna go pick up dinner. He's here, and then I will hopefully be finishing Legends and Lattes tonight because I am just obsessed.
Never cared much about fitting in, what's right or a sin. But as you stand before me, I give in. Picture frames, lavender and pain, they all live here. Within this romance, I get the chance to stop the run and be the lucky one. Picture frames, lavender and pain, they all live here. Within this romance, I get the chance to stop the run and be the lucky one.
So I finished, and I mean, I don't feel like I have much new to say other than 5 stars, loved it. It's a new favorite, and I guess I'm a cozy fantasy person. I just thought it was so sweet, so like wholesome, and there was moments of tension, but it wasn't too high. And I just think if you're thinking about picking it up, I would just do it. Also, I do recommend the audiobook. I think Travis Baldree, his career is as a narrator for audiobooks. He's done like 200 or more audiobooks, so he's really good at narrating his book, and I think he really brings it to life. And yeah, it's really worth it. I think it's just such a cute, cozy story, and I'm so happy I joined the hype train and read it. So yeah, 5 stars, no complaints from me. It was perfect, and so it's just gonna be a chill day. I think I'm gonna get to the cleaning now before I run out of energy, because that's what always happens is I wait and then I don't feel like doing it anymore. So it's about 10:15 right now, so I think it's perfect. And the sun's actually out today, which like I haven't seen in forever, so just gotta make the most of it. Maybe Noah and I will go out and do something later today to just get outside, but yeah. Anyway, I will check back in later.
Just tell me I belong. That I'm the lucky one. I'm your chosen one.
So it's about 5 o'clock now, and I haven't updated you. So I ended up picking up Shady Hollow, and I'm already 50 pages in, and I'm already just sucked into the story. I just think I've been really needing cozy, lighthearted stories, and I just wanted something I could just like easily get sucked into. That's definitely this. It's a cozy murder mystery where it's like woodland creatures, and basically this toad has been murdered, and it's in the town of Shady Hollow. Her name is Vera Vixen. She's a fox, and she is a reporter, and she's going to investigate what's happening. And you're getting some different perspectives. So there's a like deputy sheriff, or is it deputy to the sheriff, but he is also working on the case, so you've gotten some perspectives of him, but it's mainly from Vera's point of view. And I did think the intro was really good at introducing you to all these people without it being too info dumpy, and the mystery starts like right off the bat, so I was already just really sucked in, and I can see the cozy vibes of this. It's set in fall, and it just has like a warm vibe to it, you know. It's woodland creatures. Yeah, it's got just cozy vibes, even though it's a murder mystery, hence the name Cozy Mysteries. Anyway, so I'm enjoying this. I'm gonna finish it. Well, I'm going to continue reading. My goal is to maybe get to page 100, though I don't know for sure. We're about to eat dinner, and then I'm going to read this again tomorrow. It's just an easy story, and this is really, I think, exactly what I was needing. So far, so good. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh.
Shoot. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it's just pure luck that I'm making it through this.
Whoa, no!
To stop the
Pure luck? You mean skill? Get on my fast right now. Not fast right now. Oh, oh no! Oh, possibly yes. Oh, I got possibly yes.
to stop the run and be the life you want.
Made it.
No. Okay. I don't like what's happening here. Okay.
All right. Yep, you got it. Just through that tunnel, and then you'll have to jump at the end. Well done. Nailed it.
We in it.
Wow. What? Did we
Oh.
qualify? It's top 10.
We almost made it.
So I don't think
We
we
almost
will.
made it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we can only go down. We can't go up.
correct.
Yeah.
Because we're all done. Whoa, look at that reindeer.
Sorry, guys. My hair is just a bit crazy today. Oh my gosh. Okay. But it's now Tuesday. I didn't vlog very much on Sunday, and then I didn't vlog at all yesterday, but I did read. And also, look, I got these new glasses, and they're rounder than I'm used to. And I also got a thing called a prism in it, which is supposed to help my eyes because they don't focus together really well. And I feel like a little bit like I'm in a fishbowl, but I also can see like way better, so it's great. But I really like them. I like the, like, I don't know if you can see that there's purple in it. So I'm really into it. But I got these today, and so I'm getting used to it. But, sorry, side tangent. But I read and completed this. I think when I last checked in, I was around like the 30 to 50 page mark, and I just flew through this. I feel like this is a book that is just a really quick, cozy read. It's mystery-wise, it's like a very middle of the road type of mystery where it's not anything crazy or new, hasn't been done before kind of thing, but I just really enjoyed the having it be from a perspective of forest animals, and I do like the connections that are already happening, like Vera and her best friend, I'm so bad with names, Lenore, and then there's Joe, who Lenore's a raven, Vera's a fox, and Joe is a moose. And I just think that all of that is really fun, so I definitely will continue on with the series because I am enjoying the characters a lot, and I like the small town woodland creature vibes. And the mystery was like interesting enough, but it's just like, I feel like I don't read cozy mysteries for the mysteries. You really read it for the vibes, and for me this was really good vibes, really cozy vibes. It's not a new favorite of mine, but it's definitely one that I will continue to pick up. So there's two more, Cold Clay and Mirror Lake. So I'll probably be reading that. But I also didn't realize that this is by two different authors that they wrote together. And I didn't feel like that was obvious to me at all. Like, it didn't feel disjointed where you could tell two different people were writing it. So I thought it was really good. It's just sweet, cozy read. Perfect for this time of year, I feel like. Even though it was autumn, it was just still a perfect like winter read. And then I was just kind of like, oh, what do I want to read? And for some reason I keep putting off this series, even though when I read the first one, I really, really loved it. So I don't have the dust jacket on, but this is The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. And I really liked The Thursday Murder Club. I thought it was this really great intertwining of some humor, but also aging, and how it talked about aging in a humorous but also heartfelt way. I feel like it could tug at my heartstrings, but then also have me laughing. And the mystery itself I really enjoyed. I think that he was doing a little too much for me in the first one. Like, I think there were a little too many avenues he went down, but I still found the mystery super engaging, and I really enjoyed the characters. So this one I started it last night. I think I got to page 20, and it starts off pretty quickly, and I'm already sucked back in. Like, I only put it down because I had finished this kind of late, and it was already like 9:45, and I need my sleep. So I went to bed, but otherwise I would have kept reading. Yeah, I'm going to be continuing this, and I'm really excited to get further in it because I really want to be caught up on series so that when new books come out, I can read them when they're coming out and have that excitement instead of being multiple books behind and just having the books sitting on my shelves. I'd really like to read them, especially because I did really enjoy this. So that's my plan. is to read. Noah and I have both been feeling under the weather. My parents were sick, and so I don't know if we're getting what they had. I hope not, but it's just going to be a relaxing, cozy time, and which is kind of why I didn't really vlog, because we've just been kind of feeling blah. So that's the plan. We also got a little fireplace that I'll show you later to keep the house warm, because this week it's going to be negative, in the negatives, and our apartment doesn't have really good insulation and everything, and so air just leaks, and we're just trying to do things that we can do to keep it warm in here. So that's my little intro. Gonna chug some water and read. Hello, I wanted to pop back on here and wrap up this reading vlog because I never did. I started to vlog reading The Man Who Died Twice, but I ended up just kind of having a lot of anxiety about the upcoming weather because it's currently negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit here, and I just have a lot of snow anxiety and like cold weather anxiety, and it was in full force. So I haven't done a ton of reading, but also I just didn't record. So now I'm going to be wrapping this up, but I did make it to 100 pages and I'm loving it so far, but I will just leave it there. So for this reading vlog though, I ended up finishing 2 books and reading 100 pages of a third, and they were all really good picks so far. Like, I've just been in my cozy time right now in the winter is when I just really crave cozy books, and I find that they're usually my favorite. So I've been just having a great time, and I would recommend all of these if you like cozy books. Cozy murder mystery, and just cozy fantasy. Yeah, all great picks, so I'm really happy I read them. And also, if you want to leave any cozy book recommendations down below, I would love it. But also, if you want to just leave what you're reading right now and what kind of books you crave during the like cold times or winter times. I know for some people it's not cold during this time of the year, but what's your favorite type of book to read during this winter season? And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.